Then we'll play some music. Hey, Tiffany, we are going live right now. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
I would like to do a shout out to my management company, EEYC, Kim Lee Smith, Christian Dulac, all my family in Houston, Texas, and Columbus, Ohio. I love you guys. I miss you. My nephews, Hunter and Wyatt, sister-in-law, Beth, and my brother, Ty, Eric, and all my friends and family.
Now that's the way to do a shout. I love that. Here we go. Hey guys, today we're talking with Tiffany Phillips about being ethnically ambiguous. That's one of the things we'll cover. It's a web series that Tiffany wrote and starred in. It centers around Tiffany's story about what it's like to be an actress in Hollywood that doesn't fit into the boxes for its race. She also wrote and starred in her smash hit, critically acclaimed one-woman play, I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like, which sold out theaters, venues in both Los Angeles and off-Broadway in New York. Tiffany, I am so excited to have you here. And
Thank you,
let's just talk
Michael.
about the amazingness that is Tiffany Phillips. I love this whole thing that you do. When we were talking last week, you had mentioned the fact that a lot of times casting directors will find you and they'll go like, "Who is this girl, Tiffany Phillips? Is she black? Is she white? Is she this? Is she that?" Talk to me about that just for a second, because that is like majorly intriguing to me.
It's so funny because I was watching the Harry and Meghan documentary last night, and she talks about her time when she was an actress that, people just didn't see her, even though she's Black, she's biracial, Black mother, white father, that Hollywood didn't really know what to do with her because she didn't fit the picture of what they thought a Black woman would look like. And so she said she had a hard, I that resonated with me so much because I have gone through similar experiences, which is why I wrote Ethnically Ambiguous, because I played just about every ethnicity. I've played Asian, Native American, which I am part Native American. So, and then actually when I did my Ancestry and Me and 23andMe, it did say I actually had like maybe 1 or 2% Asian. So I'm like, oh, so there is some Asian. There is some Asian in me. Like how they do those pie charts on 23andMe and
Yeah.
Ancestry. And I have a joke in my stand-up set where I said mine looked like I just won like Trivial Pursuit on crack. It was just all over the map with all of the like, I'm like, my God, Papa was a Rolling Stone. He really, really got around. My founding father, whoever that is in my family. So I identify. I've always, even though both of my parents are Black, they are mixed with other things as well, like Cherokee, Apache Indian, French. My mother's Creole, but I was just always raised as you're Black. That's if anybody ever asked me, "What are you?" I'm Black. Even when I apply for a job or go out for, I'd always check Black, because that's just how I've always identified most of my life. And it wasn't until I got into this business where I started seeing how other people saw me, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're Black. Oh, I just thought you were Latin, or I thought you were this, or I thought." So it's just interesting how my career has spanned out over these years and all the different ethnicities I've played, and honestly, sometimes I think I've played like a Black woman a couple times, but usually it's like you're a mixed race Black woman or you're biracial or something. And I'm like, well, when can I just play a Black woman? Just like, just Black woman.
That's gonna be
Because
me. Yes.
that's kind of what I am, but that's okay. But I also have other friends who go through similar situations. I have a friend who's Colombian and she looks like she could be Italian, but yet she was born and raised most of her life in in Colombia. But she's like, I can't book. She goes, you would book a Colombian role before I would book a Colombian role because I don't have the look that they think a Colombian woman would look like, because she looks almost, she looks a little more Caucasian, like, she looks like she could be maybe a mix with Italian. She looks ethnically ambiguous. So it's just interesting that I wanted to write this web series kind of poking fun at it and laughing
Uh-huh.
at it, because I've had so many laughable moments that you can't even write. And also kind of open the eyes of Hollywood and viewers to know that hey, we're in a society where just and with this whole ancestor DNA and 23andMe, where pretty much all of us are mixed. I think we're learning and seeing that we all have just about everything in us, and I want to see that reflected more on television because they're always trying to fill in a box. Like, we're going to cast an Indian, we're going to cast a Latin, we're going to cast a Black person, we're going to like. But I want to see let's cast a multiracial person, let's cast an ethnically ambiguous person. I'm not saying that it never happens, but it's just rare, you know.
I was listening to I guess it's stand up with Ralphie May. He's passed away now, but Ralphie May was huge. I mean, like 400 and some pounds, right? And
Wow.
he was saying that he couldn't get cast as a fat guy because he was too fat.
Ah!
And it was like, I
Oh.
was like, wow, how does this happen? So, where did the diversity thing come from in Hollywood? I mean, we've got we had Tom Cruise playing a samurai. We had Matt,
Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra,
right?
and I can't tell you how many white men have played Zorro, and Zorro is the most iconic Latin character in history, but yet a lot of white men have played him.
Let's not
So
forget
yeah,
Cowboys and Indians back in the
oh
day with
yeah,
John Wayne and crew. So,
exactly.
so what do we do about this? And now, if we really want to go, because you talk to people and they go, "Oh, I don't see race, right? I don't. Everyone can be black or white or yellow or red." And then at the end, everyone will go, "You could be green." Well, we've got green now with Gamora, right? Within Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, how does this work out? I mean, do we need? Why is it that we need black people to play black people and white people to play white people, or do we need that? What has to happen? What
Well,
makes it?
most certainly you shouldn't have a white person playing a black person, because then they'd be wearing blackface. It just would not be okay.
Robert Downey
Actually, and
Jr. did that, right?
yeah, and let me tell you, I don't think it was offensive because it
No,
was just so damn funny. I mean, it was, come on, even every black person I know, including myself and my mom, who all went to see it, you couldn't be mad at that because
right.
it was hilarious. It was hilarious. And the other people in the cast also poked fun at him. Like, dude,
Yes.
you're Australian. You realize you're actually not black, right? um,
Right.
but what was funny is that he was almost blacker than the black people in the cast, and they did it that way. And I have a funny story because I auditioned for, this was like back in the day. I was all of like 20 years old, and I was auditioning for this play, and I went in originally auditioning for the black role. I'm black, I'm going to go in for the black role. And then they were like, can you come back and audition for the Puerto Rican role? And I was like, but I'm black. They're like, yeah, we know, but if you could just come back and, here, take these sides. And Michael, I went out and all I did was, I went over my lines, and I honestly did my best Rosie Perez impersonation.
Uh-huh.
When I went in there, I was living in New York at the time. I was around a lot of New Yorkers, and I look back and I'm like, oh my God, that was, but at that time, I ended up booking it. And then when my mom came out to see the show, the director said Tiffany was more Puerto Rican than the Puerto Rican girl.
Right.
I don't know if that would fly now, but back in the day, like, I was like, okay. And back in the day, like, I'm not 100, but you know what I mean? It wasn't this current climate that we're in now. But when you say, what are we going to do about it? I do feel like you can be like, if you're multiracial, someone like me that has a lot of different ethnicities, because you don't fit into one box. If you look like you are more Native American, which I play a lot of Native American, you should be allowed to play Native. I just want to work, as an actor. I want to work, and I don't want to work based on my race,
Uh-huh.
but yet a lot of things are based on your race. But then there's people like Rashida Jones and The Rock and even Jason Momoa. They never play, I don't know if you've noticed, they don't play races. They just play these interesting characters.
Characters,
Like, I
right.
never know what race The Rock is in his movies. He's just The Rock, and he's playing these iconic characters. Rashida Jones always, I think the first time I actually saw her playing a race was in that Kenya Barris series
Uh-huh.
on Netflix. But other than that, she's always just been like the cute, funny, charming girlfriend or sidekick or lead. Like, it was just that she's never been a race. So I want us to get cast based on our talent and our abilities, and not let what pocket can I put you in?
I
What
hear
box?
you. The one that I never ever really understood growing up was watching David Carradine on Kung Fu, and
Oh
everyone
my
said he was the
God.
Chinaman. I'm like, what? I don't get that at all.
Are you really? Are you really though? Are you
Yeah.
really Chinese?
I just
Oh
couldn't
my
even
God.
comprehend the story in my head. But
Yeah.
so who's making this happen? Is it Hollywood making it happen, or is it the audience these days that's saying we need to have, you know, this ethnicity playing this? Like I thought the internet was going to explode when Ariel was black, from Little Mermaid. I don't know what happened
That's
there.
like somewhere out in middle America. I'm like, hello. There are black and white mermaids, okay? Like
There.
she was a cartoon. She was a fictional character, for God's sake. It's like she doesn't have to be a red-haired white girl. I get it. That is how people have seen Ariel, but I love that they have a diverse Ariel, and she's going to be she's beautiful. And but I just feel like people are set in their ways, and I'm thinking this is more like somewhere, no offense to middle America, but the folks that maybe aren't surrounded by a lot of diversity aren't
Yep.
used to seeing that. But what was it? There was something I was going to hit. You're like, oh, is it Hollywood or is it the audience? Well, first of all, I think we need more people like us
Mhm.
in positions of writing, directing, and creating our stories. That's why I wrote Ethnically Ambiguous, because I didn't see any stories of a mixed race kind of person who's kind of finally fumbling their way through life, doesn't fit into any box. You don't see a lot of that on television, and I wanted to tell that story from my perspective because I live it and I know it's the truth.
Yeah.
So when you have white people writing stories for Black people, that's where the problem lies, and so we just need more people like us in those positions,
Yeah.
and then the audience, I feel like, will follow suit when they start seeing it more. You know what I mean?
Well, wait till Miles Morales comes out with Spider-Man, the Black Spider-Man. That's going to get some people going.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, get with the program. It's 2022, people. We're going on 2023. It's a new day and age. Like, it's not just white people inhabiting this earth. It is all of us. We're all here together, the human
There we
race.
go. We'll try not to see race, and we'll just go like, well, maybe we do, maybe we don't. Wait, I don't know where it's going. It's
We
kind of cool.
try.
So I do want to talk to you about your other projects too. I want to talk about the you've never met a jerk you didn't like. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think the title says it all. It's about my dating life in LA. And let me tell you, it's not going well. Um, yeah, it was just basically a time in my life where I was going through a bit of a jerk phase. And the nicer you were, the least I was into you. Like, I just really had a thing for assholes. And
Mm-hmm.
so my mom, I was sitting with her on a porch one day, God rest her soul, to my mommy. She said, you need to write a book and you need to call it I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like. I thought that was brilliant. And instead of
Mm-hmm.
writing a book, I wrote a show, and I perform and play the men, the women, and the women can be jerks too, whereas I experience bullies, and I play all of them in this show. And the most recent adaptation was directed by Kim Lee Smith, and we just had two shows at the Whitefire Theater that were sold out, like huge hit. It was just such a wonderful experience, and to hear people come over to me afterwards telling me how much they resonated with it, men and women, men
Uh-huh.
going, I felt in this way. I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So I don't know where we're going with it next. People are asking, when are you going to put it up again? We're going to see it again. So I love that people want more of it. Um, and I think the next step is we might even want to write it into a television show. People keep saying this needs to be a TV show because you'll never run out of jokes. You never
You
will
will never run out of jerks or jokes or anything. It's going to be amazing.
anything. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
So, from your experience, okay, why do you think? I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth. Why do you think women like jerks versus nice guys?
Well, that is all, and I talk about this in my show. We attract what we feel about ourselves. And I was into men that made me want to prove myself to them, where I didn't feel worthy or good enough. I was into that because that is just where I was at with my self-esteem. But when you work on yourself and you stand in your power and you know your worth, you repel guys like that. You're not interested. You're not into it because you're in a different place. So it's really not about the men, it's about what's going on with you. And that's kind of the through line of the show, is my character going, why do I want this man who is just dangling carrots at me when I have another man here who's doing all the right things and is amazing? Why do I want this? Let's go deep and see what's going on with me. So that's really where it all starts, is right here with you.
Yeah, I tell you, I have asked that question to many men and women, but women mostly. And that explanation of it being inside yourself is the best
Yep.
explanation I have heard. I can't wait to see your show.
Oh, I would love for you. We got it on video. It's going to be on demand soon. I'll keep you posted when it goes on demand. But and I want nice guys to know, don't stop being nice, because I'm past that point in my life. I want the good guy. I'm done with the rat race of the dangling carrots and the is he gonna call? I'm done with that. No. Give me a good man. All of us grow out of it. Just know that, men. Women eventually go, no, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to deal with the bullshit anymore.
Well, let's see if we can't find some nice guys to find you that have their stuff together.
And if they look like Jason Momoa, that is a plus.
That is a plus. I love that.
Yeah.
So people can find you on tiffanyphillips.com. That's easy to remember right there.
Yeah.
They can definitely find you on Instagram and Twitter. I am Tiffany P. And then, of course, we got to get back to this ethnically ambiguous. I love your discussion of that, by the way. Thank you so much for doing that. And your name of your production company, New Noon.
Named after my mom's Creole nickname. Yeah.
Yes. You gotta just love that. And self-deprecated podcast on Apple. We'll have to get that. But people, the easy way to get in touch with you is definitely going to be through your website. I want to thank you.
On Instagram.
Or Instagram. Okay, Instagram's the best. I'm going to leave that up there. You guys, nice guys, get in touch with Tiffany, and the casting director, call her out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Casting directors.
I love casting directors too. Thank you so much for coming on. You were amazing. And I got to find out where to see your show. I really want to see it now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for having me, Michael.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you guys next time.